Good morning everyone and welcome to my Fiji vlog part 2. So Dan and I are here in Fiji because we were doing photo and video for a wedding, and the wedding was yesterday. We were super happy with everything that we got that day, and if you want to check out that first vlog, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. But right now we just checked into our new hotel, which is the Maui Palms, and yeah, I want to talk to you guys about some photography related stuff in this video and just share the rest of our time in Fiji with you guys as well. Alright, so we just checked into our new hotel room and it looks super pretty. I really love the bathtub. Look at it. Hey guys, so it is now the next day. Yesterday afternoon, Dan and I decided to go for a swim and we ended up just sitting in the water for hours until sunset. It was just so beautiful. The water is crystal clear and there was heaps of little fish that were keeping us company, which somehow reminded me of Evie. I miss her a lot. I feel like anytime I see an animal, it reminds me of Evie, even like the geckos or chickens or anything. But before we get started with the day, I want to take you guys along with me and I want to talk about how I started my photography business. I figured it would just be really fun to film a different kind of styled video but still teach you guys something and let you guys know about something. So basically I run my own business, which means that I don't truly get a really big holiday. So most of the time when I am on holidays, now that we've finished shooting the wedding, Dan and I are taking a few extra days to just relax and unwind a little bit before we get back home and get back to work. But even during those times, I still like to do at least a little bit of work because there's no one at home getting that stuff done for us. So I just like to upkeep with at least emails and YouTube comments and stuff like that while I'm away. So normally what I do is wake up in the morning and spend about an hour doing that on my laptop, and I'm really lucky because here I have a beautiful balcony to do my work on. So I've got my MacBook Pro and I had my coffee this morning and I've drank my water, and this is the view I get to look out on while I'm working. Now Dan and I are gonna get ready and we're gonna go for a little walk. I'll show you guys the villa and talk to you guys about how I started my photography business as well. So we're just walking around taking some photos and stuff, and this is the little walkway to the beach. The water is like so blue today. This is the little beach that's off the hotel that we're staying at. I find that it's really hard to walk on the sand. You need to kind of wear shoes or something because of all the coral skeleton or coral rock that there is on the sand. There's so much of it. I'm currently taking photos on my 35mm Mark II, the Canon one, and my Canon 5D3. And I wanted to talk to you guys about something to do with landscape photography. I like to try and get different angles when I'm shooting landscape, and I also like to shoot with a shallow depth of field as well. So if I were to take a photo of this water, because this is a beautiful place, the photo does look really nice just from standing up, but I like to try and make use of angles when I'm shooting landscapes just to add a little bit of dimension into the photo and make it a little bit more interesting. So for this water, I would actually get down low and shoot it that way instead. That came out of nowhere. How much of that did you capture?
The whole thing.
Yeah? Okay, so we almost got washed away by a giant wave that came out of nowhere. Because as you can see, the water here is super calm, so I don't know where that came from. As you can see in the two different example photos, I feel like getting down low when shooting a landscape adds like a little element of something interesting into your photo, and maybe it's a good idea next time you try in landscape photos to do both an angle from where you're standing and an angle from nice down and low as well. So now we're gonna walk all the way up to here. There's like a really cool pier looking thing, and also look at those mountains, so pretty. But yeah, let's go. There's so many pretty little seashells here in the sand. These ones are my favorites. So let's get into about how I started my photography business. So I started photography just for fun when I was in high school. It was just a hobby to me, and I would take photos because it was something for me to do after school. I loved playing around with Photoshop, and I loved a reason to be able to go out and just kind of have fun, like with my sister, because I always used to take photos of her, and yeah, just be like, you know, out and about in nature taking pictures. So around the time when I was finishing high school, you sort of start to get a bit of pressure into what you want to do for your career. So I kind of decided that I want to try and be a photographer. As soon as I finished high school, I decided to put together a whole bunch of free test shoots. I didn't shoot for any money. I just wanted to shoot to practice using my camera, to practice taking photos of models, to be better at running a business, and to have stuff to post online. Eventually, I realized that I did need to start making money from photography. I couldn't just, you know, be doing free test shoots for the rest of my life. So I was actually really good at Photoshop, and I loved retouching. So I put out a bunch of applications to a bunch of photography studios in Sydney for my skills as a retoucher. Eventually, I ended up getting a job at a photo studio where I was a professional retoucher, retouching headshots and weddings and family photos and stuff like that. During my job as a retoucher, I learned so much about how to run a photography business, how to run a business in general, how to deal with customers, how to get clients, how to price yourself. Like, I learned so many things when I was doing that job. So we've almost made it to the pier that we're walking to. It looks so pretty. I'm like terrified I'm gonna walk into a giant piece of coral while I'm walking backwards. I think I'm gonna get a picture underneath these trees here on the beach. I don't know what they're called, but they look really cool. So I think we're gonna do that. I just like to test out, like, before I decide to get a portrait somewhere, I like to test out a few different angles to see how the lighting looks like. And I think this way it looks the most even, the lighting, so we're gonna shoot this way. I'm gonna get a sandy back. This is really cool. I like this. So as I was working as a retoucher full-time, I also continued to run my photography business on the side. So at that time, I was really doing a lot of free test shoots to build up my style, as I was doing before I got that job. And then I was also working on building up my website to be able to book in clients. So I was getting a few jobs here and there, but not as many as I like. I slowly started building up my client base more and more and more until I felt I needed a little bit more time in my week to be able to run my photography business rather than working for someone else. So Dan and I are going to get some photos of each other under here now. The view from this side is so beautiful. I love all the mountains in the background. So when I started getting a few more clients and I felt like I needed to spend more time on my business, I ended up quitting my retouching job, as that was kind of like a Monday to Friday thing. So I really only had weekends to work on my business, which meant I was working like 24/7, which was too much for me. So I ended up finding a wedding photographer who I'm actually still really great friends with now. His name is Matt, and his company name is The Evoke Company. If you guys want to check out his work, please do. I'll leave the link to his website in the description. He is absolutely amazing at what he does. And I ended up working for him as a second shooter on weddings. This was super great because it meant that I had the whole week to work on my own business, which is where I felt I really started growing as a photographer. So working full-time was really good to be able to get the initial start of getting clients in my business running. But once that started, I really went like headfirst into making bookings and being as busy as possible with all this new free time that I had. And then once again, while I was working with Matt, I learned so many new things, again, about being a wedding photographer, running a wedding business. He taught me so many things about style of photography. He was actually the one that introduced me to my favorite 35mm lens, which I still use and love to this day. Yeah, so that was a really great transition period for me and a place where I saw my business grow the most out of everything. We made it to the end of the pier and now we're like super close to the actual ocean. I ended up working with Matt as a second shooter at weddings for a couple of years while also running my own business at the same time. So I would have my own weddings when I didn't have weddings for Matt, and I would also have clients during the week, like fashion clients. I did family portrait sessions. I did a whole wide variety of different photography jobs while I was doing this. Eventually, as time went on, I ended up shooting for Matt less and less and ended up having my own clients more and more, which is where I'm at today as a full-time professional photographer. So if you want to check it out, I made an entire video on how you can make money as a photographer, which if you found this video helpful, you might like that one as well. So I'll leave the link down below for you guys to check it out if you're interested. And if you are a full-time photographer or you want to become one, then I just also want to mention a little piece of advice that sometimes it is a little bit up and down running your own business. There are quiet seasons with photography, such as in winter, and there's also really busy seasons such as summer with photography as well. If you do something like wedding photography, it's probably the most stability that you'll have running your own business, since weddings are booked like a year or two in advance. So you'll already know how many jobs you have coming up quite far in advance compared to if you do fashion photography or other styles of photography as well. But yeah, that is basically the story about how I started my photography business. I really hope you guys enjoyed hearing about that and learning a little bit more about me. If you have any questions, please let me know. But right now, since we're in Fiji, Dan and I are going to take advantage of this amazing weather and go snorkeling because the water is super clear today. So yeah, I'm going to put my camera away and we're going to go snorkeling. I finally managed to get Dan in one of the shots. The very last shot, actually.
Hi.
This is gonna be the last clip that we filmed for today's vlog slash tutorial. If you guys like this form of video where it's kind of like half vlog but still educational and has a tutorial in it, please let me know, as Dan and I have a few more travel jobs in the coming year as well, so we would love to film more of these kinds of videos for you guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you like it and we can do more of them. So yesterday when we finished filming the tutorial, Dan and I ended up snorkeling all afternoon. I think we were out in the water for like 4 hours.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then today is our last day and we ended up snorkeling the entire day again. I think we got a bit more confident and we ended up going like way further out where the coral is just so alive and there's so many fish. It was so pretty. Mm-hmm. And then we went kayaking for a bit as well, which was fun. I really wish we brought an underwater camera. I think next time we come back we will, because there's just amazing fish under the water. There was like electric blue starfish, and there was it was like a green fish with a brown fish with electric green lines running through it.
There was a lot of fish.
Yeah, so many different types of fish. But anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Big thank you to Dan who helped me film everything.
All good.
But yeah, I'll see you guys all in my next video where I will be back at home where it's freezing in Australia. Yay!
I'm gonna freeze to death.
Alright, see you guys.
See ya.